everyone. So, good morning. I'm having coffee. It's soy latte. This is my company name. Company name. So, I haven't updated a lot recently. And sorry, I have no makeup. It's because I'm planning to like put some cream on my face. Then I'm gonna laser it. I can do that by myself, so it's fine. Apparently, my client didn't come in today, which is really sad, but we cannot force everyone. To be honest, I don't mind if the client doesn't come. What makes it sad is, oops, my messy closet. She didn't tell me anything. Like, no update, no anything. Like, it's fine, but sorry, that's so dirty. At least be kind of respectful to other people's time. And I woke up quite early, so yeah. Waking up early is not my thing at all, so that's already something that she should have respected, right? Anyway, I've decided that I'm just gonna be talking about my life in Japan. So those who wanted to unfollow me, that's fine. I don't mind. I don't care. I'm sorry I'm not so helpful about Philippines right now because I've got my own problems. Right now, I've been going through a lot of money problems, not because I owe something, but because, as you know, do you remember the line that I'm talking about? The lawyer's fee killed my savings and my sanity. I think even the money that I'm earning from this aesthetic clinic will go there, and I don't even know if there's an answer. So it's very exhausting. Anyway, as I was saying, my client canceled on me. Sorry. And it's really sad because I prepared, I woke up at around what time? 6. I don't know. I woke up early just to accommodate her, basically. But she didn't come. And this is so small. Oh my god. So, yeah. How is my life being a Filipino esthetician in Japan? It's okay. It's competitive. You get news from clients. Like, you learn a lot of things about them. Especially, like, those who have been here for a long time. I wonder if Filipinos in other countries have the same experience like in Japan. Like, Filipinos in Japan, they came here different ways, working hard or something. Like, the first generation were like working in, like, they say, omise, or they work in clubs. But the clubs in Japan are very different. Magkaiba sila. They're so different compared to other clubs. So in Japan, the clubs are like, you can enter, you can drink with the girls, but you cannot take them out. It's really rare. It's either something happens. I mean, like, there are some places before Showa era. Showa era was like the bubble economy of Japan, where I heard you can actually take the woman out, or like, I don't know, you can't, but some services offer, like, they offer some things, like inside the place something can happen, so something like that. And then here comes but mostly because it's illegal, shops prefer, if you watch Naked Director from Netflix, you will get the idea. But on the other hand, you don't really ever go out with a customer, I guess. Unlike in the Philippines, right, $100 you can take out a girl. And then in Japan, I think it's gonna be like $1,000, I guess. But I heard from some rumors from some Filipinos that even though it's like $1,000, it's still like, sometimes they still get the cheaper ones. There some cheap ones exist, which I don't know where and how and why. So but it's their life, you know, it's fine for me. And then most of those Filipinas, they actually came here, like that was their job, but they don't go out with the customer, but they have to be really good with alcohol. That's why I have some clients who have very sensitive skin, because due to their, you know, their too much alcohol, you know, I mean it has accumulated through the years, and some of them even at 40s they're still working. But you know, because this job is not about just doing the deed, but it's also like you have to communicate with the customer, which is very important if you communicate with the customer. So I want it to get dry. My hand. So it's very important that we communicate with the customer. And why we, even me, my job right now, even with my students. So it's important to communicate with the customers, right? And then they can, oh my god, they can get a fee for that. So when they get a fee for that, they can have enough money to live. No, they can get like every drinks. It's like ladies drinks, but here it's like so expensive. I remember I saw one video on TikTok, like a bottle of like how do you pronounce that? Moe champagne. They say champagne here, champagne. That beautiful, but actually you can buy that for like $50, the most expensive in a supermarket. But like they sell that when it's champagne time, they're gonna sell it for like 100,000 yen, which is like almost $1,000 or $900. I'm like, what? I wonder how much the girls get. But then they told me that long time ago, Filipinos used to make a lot of money in Japan, and especially those who are working in these kinds of jobs, because you know Japan that time was earning money, and then it was the beginning of the bubble economy. People want to spend money until recession came, and you know whatever happens to these developing countries, it's, you know, like and then their only goal is to be stable, not to drop, right? So that's the situation right now. I'm sorry. So this is charcoal cream. You get it dry on your face, and then it's carbon gel, and then after this one you can, it has hyaluronic acid, glycerin, seaweed, medical grade powder, vitamin B and vitamin C. So this is good for carbon laser. So it's good to, you know, remove the impurities on your skin, blackheads, and to lighten your skin. And anyway, as I was saying, they told me that a lot of them, they earn money from these jobs, and then even though they got married to Japanese, the Japanese men allow them to work here because apparently they finish work at 12. So 12 they go home, because that's the last train usually, and then they send their money back to the Philippines. So that's why if you notice a lot of Filipinas who have worked in Japan, those who have made it, they usually have houses or properties under their name, even without the help of their husbands. I think the help of the assistance of their husband itself is providing the home in Japan. But sometimes when a Filipina gets married in Japan, of course she also has to focus on her kids here. I've met a lot, like, you know, you would hear the stories about their kids, like their kids have, you know, reached these kinds of achievements, and it's really, really nice to hear. And some kids go to work in a Japanese company, but some kids, they just enjoy life in Japan, and then some kids want to go back to the Philippines. Maybe we can talk about that next time. And then after that, they also told me that Japanese would give them lots and lots of gifts before, but now it's kind of rare, because even Japan is not struggling itself, but you know, there are a lot of expenses compared to when we were young. That's why I was wondering, why is it expensive to raise a child in Japan and even in the Philippines right now? I was thinking, like, when I was younger, if my parents, my aunt paid my books, my tuition fee, I eat 3 times a day. I get allowance for buying food for school. That was enough. There was no internet fee, there's no iPad, laptop, and these things were not existing before, and there was no need to. There are many things that used to be like wants, but now they're needs, like a smartphone, right? So anyway, as going back, yeah. So some Filipinas, they have been successful in Japan and they're still working, but some are also struggling. That's what I learned. It's really, sad to hear those things. Like, even though they're at this age, they couldn't stop working because they have to support a family back home, or we have to live here, so they have to keep on working. And sometimes, even if they want to go home, their families back home have no one to depend except them, so it's difficult for them to quit. And it's really disheartening to hear that, because they're already at this age where in the Philippines you would say like it's the retirement age. But then again, I was also thinking like, oh, in the Philippines, then like we are paid per day. So even if you work hard that day or not, you get paid per day. But then again, when you go to Japan, you get, is it dry? You get paid like hourly. So like you don't want to waste your time like not earning that hour, right? During that hour. So is this okay? And then by the way, they call this Hollywood facial. I don't know why it's called Hollywood. I don't know, Americans, why? Maybe because it's like a glow facial, right? So yeah, and then as it's really interesting. Maybe they think it's a waste of time to just sit around, when if I work for about 4 hours, I can get like $40 to $50, right? So it's really a different story, I guess. And then but most Filipinas that I've met, they're very beautiful, even though they age. When I was younger, we used to say that we call them Japayuki. I was thinking, where did the word Japayuki come from? Apparently, way back after World War II, when Japan was still very poor, and then US, and so on, or other countries, they brought some Japanese women in the Philippines. And they were in a bus, and then they work as, well, they work as in this industry in the Philippines. And then Filipinos would call them back then as Japayuki, although I have to confirm that with my grandmother because she was alive that time. And then as time passes by, it changed. It became a term, a degrading term. Like in Japan, like if a Filipino is called Japayuki, it means like you are a low class person because you are a woman who works in a job like this. And the funny thing is, when they say those things, that racism applies not to, Japanese people, even though they have racism towards these Filipinas, which we cannot really say anything because I'm not like, not racism, I think just a class status or something, because a lot of Filipinos really used to work for these jobs, and they were young when they got here. They would cheat on their passports and everything. And then the other so dry, some other Filipinos would it would become like a degrading word in the Philippines, because some Filipinos, they have a mindset that Filipinos in Japan are selling their bodies. But actually, it's not like that. Kaya yung mga Pilipino na maliliit ang mundo sa Pinas, huwag nyo na maisipin ganon. Kasi matitino yung trabaho nila dito. Actually, mas matino pa nga sa iba. 'Di ba? Nakikipag-usap lang sila. Walang ganon, maliban na lang pipiliin nila kasi bawal yun dito. So I'm just saying that it's not allowed here, and some people are judgmental. So it became degrading. And when they say, oh, Japayuki yan, that's a Japayuki, like that, it's like I don't know, they would look down on that person even if she already had a big house or something. They would always put that word Japayuki in. I remember when I got home, I had this ex-classmate. He said to me, so Japayuki ka dun? I'm like, I'm teaching here. So I'm like, wah! But it doesn't matter anymore, whatever they think about me. And to be honest, at this time for me, being called a Japayuki is a pride. Alam mo yon? If you're a if they call me one, because first of all, most Japayukis before that I've met are very beautiful. Even until now, they're so beautiful. Even in their 40s, going 50s. Oh my God, you can see that graceful aging. And then most of them that I've met here are very successful. So for those people who are looking down on them, can you please look at yourself first? Especially Filipinos. You know, these women, they have supported loads of their families, you know, from first, second, third generation of their families. They're still working here. And even though they changed their job, oh my God, they're so still beautiful. Sometimes they come here, I'm like, what do you need to do? Like, do you need to change anything? I mean, nothing to change. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, again, I'm so sad. I was supposed to upload a video of myself crying, but I'm shy. Maybe next time I will. Anyway, thank you guys. Bye.